Do you guys remember this sound? That harmonica, the upbeat rhythm, the chorus that just burrows into your brain, it's a 90s classic. It's the kind of song that gets stuck in your head for days. Something you'd blast on your car radio on a summer road trip. But what if I told you every single time you've sung along, you've been the punchline of a really clever, very public joke? This song isn't a catchy tune, it's a satirical masterpiece that's openly making fun of its own audience for simply loving it. And the fact that it became a massive hit is the best and most brilliant punchline of all. Okay, so before we break this whole thing down, we have to build it up first. You need to understand just how perfectly Hook fit into the 90s music world. Blues Traveler formed in 1987, and they broke into the mainstream by the mid-90s with their top 10 hits Runaround, and of course Hook. Led by imposing frontman John Popper, he didn't look like your typical rock and roll frontman. Even the press coverage highlighted the band's non-rock star appearance. One headline read, "The band members may not be pretty, but can 2 million fans in a Billboard Top 10 slot be wrong?" Growing up in Princeton, New Jersey, John Popper's rough life at school resulted in him finding solace in music. It was by the time he was 13, he became proficient at playing 5 different instruments. But it would be the movie Blues Brothers that opened his eyes to the world of harmonica, as well as the blues. Popper told the LA Times, "I wanted to be a comedian, but I wasn't funny enough to do it every night. So through listening to the Blues Brothers, I found out about Paul Butterfield, and through him, Elmore James, and even through that, I heard about Jimi Hendrix." He would also cite Leonard Skinner, the Allman Brothers, Led Zeppelin, and Grateful Dead as his other big influences. He'd hone his skills on the harmonica, and with a group of like-minded musicians, he formed Blues Traveler by 1987. The group got their first big break in April of '89 when the band performed at Columbia University at a homeless benefit show. In the audience was a student named David Graham, whose father, Bill Graham, was a legendary rock promoter who had ties to groups like Jefferson Airplane and Grateful Dead. David introduced the band to his dad, who became their manager. It was through Graham's connections that the band started playing bigger venues, opening for the likes of Jerry Garcia's band, the Allman Brothers, as well as Santana, and this was before they even had a label deal. Many critics bestowed upon them titles such as an open-ended jam band, with them seeing a lot of comparisons to Spin Doctors, Grateful Dead, Phish, Widespread Panic, as well as Big Head Todd. Blues Traveler soon nabbed a recording deal with A&M Records, and they released their self-titled album in 1990. But by 1993, the band were pretty much running on empty. Despite being signed to a major label and having some modest success with their first 3 albums, as well as a few singles, in addition to appearing several times on David Letterman's Late Night Show, the band was struggling by the mid-90s. Their third record, 1993, Save His Soul, underperformed and stalled on the charts. The band, who had spent 3 years straight on the road, were burnt out and broke. And Blues Traveler's next album had to deliver, otherwise they'd likely be dropped by A&M Records. In January of '94, John Popper, who was dealing with the aftermath of a motorcycle accident, was depressed and weighing about 300 pounds. He retreated to his home in Princeton, New Jersey, and laid on his king-size bed and just let the music pour out of him. One of those songs was titled Runaround, a track about unrequited love, a song that pretty much summed up Popper's relationships with women up until that point. This was the song that their label A&M thought would finally break the band, and they were right. The group's 4th record, aptly titled 4, was issued in September of '94. The single Runaround spent a whopping 49 weeks on the Billboard charts, peaking at number 14 on the Hot 100. The band made more money sitting at home selling records than they had all the previous years up until this point on the road. Their 4th album went on to sell 7 million copies worldwide. And another big part of that album's success was the follow-up single Hook, which was issued in early '95. Blues Traveler delivered a track that had everything the decade loved. It was alternative rock, but with a friendly, almost folksy vibe, thanks to John Popper's incredible harmonica skills. It sounded optimistic, upbeat, and was ridiculously easy to sing along to. The song was a monster. It climbed the Billboard charts, peaking at number 23 on the Hot 100, and it became a permanent fixture on radio stations everywhere. If you listen to satellite radio like I do, it still receives a good amount of play on both Lithium and 90s on 9. For millions of people, Hook was and still is a feel-good anthem that brings back a flood of nostalgia. The general takeaway was simple. It was just a great fun song. Sure, the lyrics were a little weird, maybe even nonsensical in some spots, but the feeling was all that mattered. It was a classic jam, end of story. And that's exactly what the band would want you to think, because while everyone was humming along, Blues Traveler had slipped a secret message into the song's DNA, a message that was hiding in plain sight. The entire point of Hook is a cynical but honestly brilliant confession. Popper wanted to prove a theory. He believed that most pop music fans don't really care about deep lyrics or even artistic integrity. All that truly matters is a catchy melody, a hook that reels you in, so they decided to write a song that was explicitly about that very idea. They basically made a bet that they could write a song with lyrics that openly mocked the listener and the pop music formula, and as long as the hook was good enough, it would be a surefire hit. And Popper has said as much over the years. The song is a direct satire. It's a meta-commentary on how to build a pop song. He was basically telling you, I can literally say anything I want and it won't matter because this chorus is so catchy to you that you won't be able to fight it. The song is really a Trojan horse. On the outside, it's a shiny, awesome-looking gift, but on the inside, it's carrying an army of criticism aimed right at the people who let it in. The argument is this. Hook is a song about how a catchy hook can make any song successful, and it proves itself right by being a successful song with a ridiculously catchy hook. The joke starts with the very first line, and there's no subtlety here, no need to read in between the lines. Popper puts his cards on the table immediately. It doesn't matter what I say, so as long as I sing it with inflection. It goes on to say, that makes you feel that I'll convey some inner truth or vast reflection. This isn't a metaphor, it's a literal mission statement. He's telling you right to your face that the words are meaningless. He's admitting he can fake sincerity just by how he sings, making you believe you're hearing something profound when you're actually not. He then drives the point home, adding, but I've said nothing so far. He's breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to you about the song you're listening to in that very moment. But I've said nothing so far. He's pointing out that the emperor has no clothes, but he's doing it while sewing him a beautiful new suit. The whole verse is an attack on lazy listening. It suggests that we, the audience, are so hungry for meaning that we'll project it really onto anything as long as it's packaged with the right emotional cues. He's not just writing a song, he's running a psychological experiment in real time with all of us as the test subjects. And then we get to the chorus, the absolute masterpiece of the whole joke. Because the hook brings you back, I ain't telling you no lie, the hook brings you back. On that you can rely. Because the hook brings you back. The chorus works on two incredible levels. First, there's the obvious musical hook. In songwriting, a hook is that short, catchy part of a song designed to grab you and never let you go. It's the piece that you can't get out of your head. So when Popper sings the hook brings you back, he's literally telling you that this exact chorus is the tool used to manipulate you. He's so sure it'll work that he even says, I ain't telling you no lie, which is a fantastically ironic moment of honesty in a song built on faking it. I ain't telling you no lie. But there's also a deeper meaning, or maybe a second meaning. The hook also refers to Captain Hook from Peter Pan. In that story, Captain Hook is the villain who keeps pulling Peter back into the fight. He's the bad guy the story needs to keep going. In the same way, the song's musical hook is the force that you can't resist, the thing that keeps you, the listener, coming back for more, trapped in a loop of catchy, empty fun. The title isn't just a noun, it's a name, a character, and a villain who's got you trapped, and you can't help but love him for it. If the first verse was a confession and the chorus was the weapon, the second verse is where Popper proves his point by showing you just how little the words actually matter. He then flat out admits his commercial motives, stating he's, and I quote, being insincere, and that when he needs to make a buck, he doesn't need luck, because the hook does all the work for him. The lyrics in the third verse are meant to be absurd. He's mashed together a famous TV dog and a beheaded 16th century queen. The lines have no connection, no hidden meaning. They're just pure glorious nonsense meant to fill the space between that infectious chorus and rhyme. He's daring you to find the meaning where there really isn't any. He's showing you that he can sing the lyrical equivalent of alphabet soup, and you won't just accept it, you'll sing right along with him. It's an incredibly blunt confession about the business of pop music. He's not an artist bearing his soul, he's a craftsman building a product, and he's handing you a blueprint while he's doing it. The gibberish lyrics are the final proof. The words can mean anything, the feeling can be fake, but the hook still brings you back. Just when you think the joke is all in the lyrics, you realize it goes even deeper. It's not what he's saying, it's in the music itself. The entire chord progression for Hook is lifted directly from one of the most famous and most overused pieces of classical music in history, Pachelbel's Canon in D. You know this progression even if you don't know the name. You've heard it in tons of pop songs, movie scores, and at pretty much every wedding you've ever been to. It's the definition of a musical cliche.
Everything all at once. Wasn't much of a friend of mine.
This wasn't an accident, it was a cold, calculated choice to write a song making fun of how lazy and formulaic pop music is. Blues Traveler chose the laziest, most formulaic chord progression imaginable. They were essentially saying, we don't even need to write our own music, we can just take this chord progression that's been beaten to death, write some smart-ass lyrics over it, add a killer harmonica solo, and we'll have a hit. They built their critique of unoriginality on a foundation of unoriginality. It's a breathtakingly meta move, a joke inside of a joke. The music and the lyrics are telling you the exact same thing. This is a formula. It isn't original, and you're going to love it anyways. And maybe it also harkens back to what I said previously about how the band stated they needed to have a hit for their fourth album. And this is where the whole experiment comes to its perfect conclusion. It worked. It worked better than they could have ever imagined. Hook, a song that was specifically designed to be a parody of a hit single, became a massive hit single. The song blew up on the charts, and it's still one of Blues Traveler's most famous songs by a mile. The band won a Grammy in 1996 for the song Runaround, and the day they won a Grammy, they renegotiated their recording contract, becoming instant millionaires overnight. So maybe it worked better than they could have ever imagined. The song's success is the punchline. The fact that millions of people were belting out the chorus that was explicitly about how easily they could be tricked by a chorus is the ultimate proof of the song's entire point. Blues Traveler didn't just write a song about an idea, they ran a real-world test on the public, and the results came back undeniable. They held up a mirror to the music industry and its audience, and the reflection was a sold-out stadium screaming the words to their own critique right back at them. It's a snake eating its own tail in the most glorious way. The song's very existence as a pop culture icon is the final piece of evidence that everything it says is true. So the next time you hear that legendary harmonica riff, remember what you really know. Hook isn't just some catchy 90s jam, it's a masterclass in satire. It's a confession, a critique, and a celebration of its own cynical ideas all rolled into one. It's a song so cleverly built that it works on two totally different levels. For most people, it's a fun, harmless pop song, but for those who are in on the joke, it's one of the smartest and most meta commentaries ever to hit the radio. You can be the butt of the joke and still love the joke, because that right there is the genius of the song. It hooks you and you're happy to be caught. The group quickly became a household name. The band rode a wave of popularity, consistently touring, appearing on major television shows, and contributing songs to various movie soundtracks. Their energetic live performances and unique blend of blues, rock, and improvisation drew widespread acclaim, helping to pioneer the modern jam band movement. However, the years following Four brought significant challenges as well. In 1999, tragedy struck when founding bassist Bobby Sheehan died, which deeply affected the band. Soon after, frontman John Popper faced serious health issues himself, leading to a noticeable dip in the group's mainstream momentum. Despite these setbacks and being dropped by their label in 2002, Blues Traveler remained active. They worked with independent labels, continued to tour, and released new albums. Over time, the band reestablished themselves, even earning a Grammy nomination in 2022 for Traveler's Blues, an album of blues covers. Then in 2023, they released Traveler's Soul, exploring soul and R&B classics. As of this year, the band continues to tour and celebrate their enduring legacy, So let me know, guys, what other songs do you think are hiding an ironic meaning? Let me know in the comments section below. I read all of them, and I'm always looking for the next great musical mystery to solve. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you later on Rock and Roll True Stories.